nature.
Enjoying this pollen. Not really.
No, it's making me itch. My nose is itching. But this is going to be a very fun discussion. I can't wait.
Well, a much needed discussion.
Yeah, it is.
Most definitely needs to be discussed.
Mm-hmm. And I think that we'll be able to do it.
Hello.
In a great way to where it's a conversation
Hello,
starts.
She Slays Cosplay. Hi, my truth.
Hi.
Thank you all for coming in. Hey, Daquan. Hey. We're just waiting for the beautiful ladies to come in. Hey, Fifi.
Hi, Fifi. Hi. The weather here, Daquan, it's a little chill, but it's a nice cool breeze.
Yeah, it's comfortable with a light jacket. Yes, thank you for being here, cosplay sister. So cute. How's the weather where you guys are at?
Mm-hmm.
Let us know.
And the sky is clear.
Yeah, it's beautiful out. It's just a little nippy, but other than that, it's comfortable. Because the summertime, when it's like in the 90s and triple digits, Lord knows, I'm just like, ugh. Yay! Yes, you made it. Thank you for coming
happy.
in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Real woman, hi.
Hi, auntie.
The sun is, oh wow, I bet.
Yes.
But that's nice though, because it feels good. You have to get the sun, you got to get the vitamin D in and all that, but it's like them triple digits, I'm just like, I can't do it. Kim Kaze, Tenchi Cosplay, hi.
Hello guys.
We just waiting for the beautiful ladies to come in. Hi, Two-Face.
Hi, Two-Face.
I'll let Two-Face in. You just need vitamin D. Vitamin D and
Hello, gorgeous.
Thank you. Y'all are beautiful. Y'all scenery, your background looks different.
Yeah, we wanted to do it outside today. Get some fresh air.
I love the hair color. Like, beautiful. I need that in my life. Like, oh my gosh.
Thank you.
So, yes.
I love the cut. It reminds me of it's gonna tell my age, like T-Bond's haircut back in the day on TLC.
Yeah.
So I was like, what about your friends?
Loved it.
Hey, CK.
Hi. Hey, Common.
Hey, Common Rider.
Yeah. I guess I'm early.
No, you're good.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Karina. Hi, Karina. We're just waiting for Pretty Sataku and Lindsay to come in.
Okay.
And then we'll get started.
Yeah. Thank you all for coming in.
Yes, we appreciate everybody that's coming in to hop in with us on this topic.
But I guess we could lay down.
Yes, so before we get started, and we'll reintroduce this too, but before we get started, we do want to lay some ground rules for those of us that are in the comment section. So, I mean, the topic is a little bit of a touchy nature. So feel free to, discuss amongst yourselves within the comments. We're not going to be able to, I would say, interact as normally as we normally would on our show, but feel free to talk amongst yourselves in the comment section, but please keep the comments respectful. Mm-hmm. Everybody is free to express themselves, but let's be respectful of one another. If we do see any comments that are, rude and things like that, you will get booted, you will get blocked. Right? Any other comments? Anybody?
Yes, summer will be here soon, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Truth.
Can y'all hear Gizmo barking?
Yes. Like, yes. Like,
he's like, let me out. How y'all gonna be outside and not let me out? That's what he's saying.
y'all are so sweet. Because I'm just like, Gizmo be doing the most. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, Gizmo.
Well, I have kids, so I and work in a school, so I kind of tune some things out, like not intentionally, but it you pick your battles, and some things you worry about, some things you don't worry about. It's like background noise. I'm good.
Thank you for understanding.
Thank you so much. Fifi said Gizmo. Yes, Fifi. Gizmo is a ham. Like, he has to be the center of attention. He showed his tail last night.
Oh boy, did he.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
We're just waiting on Lindsay and the prettiest otaku comic writer.
Yes. Going to be a great discussion.
Much needed discussion.
Yes.
They're coming.
Yep, they coming. Yeah, I do the same. It's much.
I know, right? Like when not saying if you mother or not, it's just those things. It's like, oh, that's loud to you. Oh, okay, that's normal for me. Like, okay, sure.
Hi.
Oh, Lord. Crazy. Hi, ladies. How are you doing?
Hi.
Good. How are you?
Good. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing? Oh, my gosh. Everybody looks so pretty. I love your makeup. You look so gorgeous. I'm sorry. What's your name?
Two-Face.
Two-Face. Sorry. Like your personal name? I'm sorry.
Oh, Tasha.
Tasha. I'm so sorry. I forget all the time. You look gorgeous. Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Sometimes on these platforms, I don't know to use my username or my government name. So, but
Right.
I answer to both. So I'm not one of those people like, what? No,
No, you're fine. I still struggle with like knowing people's like Instagram names versus their actual names, and I still struggle even with the divas. I end up to be like, no, the ladies, the divas, them, you know that.
Well, I think with me interacting more on the social media, I've gotten to know people actual names, like like you were saying. So it makes it a little bit more personal versus like, I only know her for social media. Oh no, that's Tasha. I know her. So it kind of gives you that family vibe versus, oh, we're just here for business type thing.
Right.
Okay. Got you.
So I try to call people by their names. All right, where Purdy at? There she go.
Is she coming yet? Let's see. I'm gonna message her to see. You said fat. She slave time.
So I guess so that we are, because I mean it is like kind of like touchy. We want to be able to have everybody feel comfortable. Is it cool if we just address everybody as their government name?
Hey,
Government.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Cool.
Okay. So it's Tasha, Christy, and I always forget
Kendra.
Kendra, and I know it was another K. I'm so
Kendra,
sorry.
Christy.
I almost always want to say Casey for some reason. I'm just like, no, she doesn't even look like a Casey. But Christy and Kendra, not Christy and Casey. I don't know where I got that from. I'm so sorry again.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Oh man.
Screaming with, oh, real woman, stop. You're so pretty.
You're so
Hey, Auntie.
I know, right? All these different shades we're about to address up in this live.
Right.
Yes. We love it. So how is y'all Sunday going so far?
It's good.
It's happening.
Yeah, I had a headache earlier, but I kind of shook it off. I partied too hard yesterday.
I feel that.
I didn't party too hard. I'm not a drinker, but when I drink, it's like, your body's like resenting everything, and you question your life choices. But hey, but I wanted to went to the movies last night, so.
Did you see Demon Slayer?
Yeah, that's what I went to go see. And so, I'm like I'm like in my little casual cosplay, got my drinks, and I'm paying for it. But But I knocked that headache out the way. So my Sunday is going good.
That's good.
Oh. That's super cool. Yeah, my sister and I, we actually dressed up yesterday and we went to go see Demon Slayer 2. Oh my gosh, that was. Has everybody here seen it?
No, we watched the
We
Mortal
haven't seen
Kombat
it.
movie
Yeah.
on Friday. We didn't see the Demon Slayer one.
How was
Mortal
that?
Kombat is for me tonight. It was supposed to be yesterday, but we're gonna do it
I'm
tonight.
gonna tell you, if you saw,
We don't want to ruin it for
I'm
you.
just gonna say the first
Tasha,
two
but-
original ones, in my opinion, it's just my opinion. I like the old school ones. The newer one, it wasn't horrible, but it was just some things I'm just kind of like, what?
We
Like,
waited so
Oh, no.
long for it. But that's
Oh,
our
No,
opinion.
no spoilers. Nobody's spoiling. We're just mentioning
Yeah,
what we've seen.
Yeah, no spoilers. We're like to be nice to everybody here, but yeah, it was just interesting to know because you know the hype around that movie was insane. Like there's so much excitement building up for that.
right?
I don't know. Still gonna watch it, but
The people that I spoke with, even like the diehard MK fan, he still gave it a 7 out of a 10. So
Really?
I was like, must not be too bad. Not too bad, not too good. Didn't go into details as why it's 7, but because I haven't seen it. So once I watch it, then I'll be able to have the conversation with him and be like, hey, what you gave him a 7 for? Or like, what didn't you like or whatever?
Right.
not Korean talking about some. I fell asleep. Stop.
Somebody said they fell asleep on it.
Yeah,
Karina.
I know. She worked hard. She's tired. I get it.
Did you have some wine in your cup like me? Because that'll usually knock me out too.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
like, my intent and my glass be on 2 different levels. So
You wanted to hype you up, but it just ends up making you sleepy. Like it's so rude.
yeah, you're like, oh, I'm gonna relax and unwind. Like, you don't relax and unwind to sleep. So
Right.
Wine to sleep. I love it.
she's like, my bad.
I think just because for the sake of
Right.
time and we want everybody to, and we know that Lindsay, you have somewhere you have to be. I guess we'll get started, and then if Christy slips in,
Right.
we just slip in, and we still gonna still get this thing going.
All right,
All right.
cool.
I gotta get the words off my face. I don't know how to do it. All right, stay up there.
All right, so we get started. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to our lovely guests here and everyone that is tuned into the live. So we're going to be discussing colorism, and it's a topic that is pretty sensitive, but we want to discuss it within like the Black community and within content creation. So just for everyone that is in the comment section, feel free, to speak amongst yourselves in the comment section, but please keep the discussion respectful. If there's anything that we do see, you will be booted from the live and blocked. So please, let's just be nice. And you wanted to say something else too? No, that's pretty much it. Okay. Get started. All right. And then we will have our lovely guests introduce themselves. And whoever wants to start.
Hello, everybody. I am Tasha, also known as Two-Face Cosplay.
Hi, sorry, no, that was it. Sorry. I'm Lindsay. I'm part 2 of the duo who runs Geek Chic Cosmetics. The other person is Karina, and she'll be hopping on a little later. So definitely stay tuned for her. She's fantastic.
Yes. We're so honored. Thank you, ladies. And
Thank you for having me.
And just to define colorism. So colorism is defined, if you go on Google, is defined as prejudice or discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone, typically among people of the same ethnic or racial group. And got that off of Google. So for the first question, ladies, we wanted to ask, have you experienced or observed colorism in real life or online? And Lindsay, if you don't mind, if you wanted to maybe answer that first, if you feel okay.
Yeah, no, it's no problem. So I have experienced it more in real life than I have online. Than I think because I haven't had like a super strong like online presence, and if I was talking online to people, it wasn't really it wasn't really to strangers until like me and my sister started the business. Thankfully, everybody we've met so far has been like so super sweet and supportive and like amazing. But in real life, I have experienced some of this. Like my two other sisters were all like different shades. Nothing drastic, but no, there's still a difference, and I could definitely see the difference in the way certain people treated another sister of ours. She's actually not. She doesn't have like an online presence. Like social media really just isn't for her. But I could definitely see a difference in how they treated like her beauty versus like our beauty because we have more Afrocentric features. You know, we have like a wider nose. We might have like bigger lips. We have like darker complexions compared to her. And a lot of people, they would constantly like try and talk to her like, oh, like, are you Dominican or are you so and so? And she's like, no, I'm black. They're like, yeah, mixed with what? She's like, they're my sisters. Like we're all sisters. We're all black. And they would be like kind of confused and they would try to like favor certain people, just depending on like how we would wear our hair or like how we would like style our makeup or like a different type of contour. Like I've noticed people are just more receptive. I want to say receptive, they're more like complimentive and they're more like expressive and they're kinder when I wear my hair in different styles. Like when I wear like crochet braids like out, so it's like big and curly, kind of like like a Beyonce like style or something, like the loose curls. I get lots of compliments. Like I mean, like people like yelling like across the parking lot, I like your hair, and I'm just like, who are you? It's weird. Versus like like having in like braids or having in like just like a big afro puff, a little fine apple on top. You get treated differently. I think amongst women, it's getting a little better. I would say, like I personally haven't experienced a lot of people who have been super like super negative towards me. It's usually like some type of misunderstanding, and like once I can clear it up, they're like, oh yeah, I was kind of being a butt, and I was like, yeah, you kind of were, but work on yourself. But yeah, I'm so sorry. Did I answer the question? I think I don't know if I went off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's all like as
Right.
far as your real life experience, so it's no right or wrong answer
Right.
to it.
Okay.
But Tasha, did you want to include like any type of experience that you may have had?
Yeah, kind of similar to her, my experience, not so much social media, even though we'll probably touch base on the entertainment industry and being featured and stuff like that, as far as colorism, skin tone, and so forth. But me personally, I would have to say the colorism probably came more from my family. Unfortunately, I get the where I live, oh, you talk white, or you act a certain way, or you're proper, oh, you like that. So it mainly came from my family. And my family, part of my family is darker than me, but we're still family because that's still my mom's sister. That's my mom's, these are my first cousins. And yes, they are probably more likely darker than me, but I kind of get that, oh, you're uppity, oh, you're from Georgia, you're lighter than us, that you think you're better than us, and it's not even true. So unfortunately, and I guess that ties in with the Black community as one, like we are our own worst enemy. Like we just have this centuries and decades of house Negro and field slaves mentality that has, the generational curse hasn't been broken. And so within that Black community, and it's no fault of my cousins or my aunts that feel like they want to call me this, or you light bright or whatever, which I don't think I am, because I have some people that's lighter than me, but I get called that in comparison just by skin tone within my own family. And it's just that generational curse, and that what they had to experience is on them, and that's all they know, and it just kind of gets passed down. And so, like I said, mainly my upbringing is colorism was more within my family, more so than society.
Yeah, and it's just like with like both of y'all's experiences, like it's sad how I guess like the people that we have like the most like the closest ties to are the ones, of course, that we're the most accessible to, but also I guess are able to inflict those types of wounds like onto each person. And it's really sad because it's so ingrained into us that we have no idea a lot of times that we're doing it. And it's just like, I mean, I don't know. And it's just like, I guess, now it's just like talking about it more, and just, I guess, being more like cognizant of like what we're saying, how we're treating others, and just like, well, dang, like, was that really incorrect of me to say that? Was that wrong what I did, But wow.
And we are worst enemies, like I said, because you know, you'd be like, oh, you're pretty for a black girl, or you're pretty for a dark skinned girl. Like, no, she's beautiful. Period.
Yeah, and I think it says a lot because not just you, Two-Face, I'm sorry, Tasha, but also people in the comments, they really were saying like how it really starts in the family. And if we can fix it within the family first, and that's both of us, like both of our experiences really stem from having issues, not with like random people, but really people like in our family and how people either react to our family or react within ourselves, within like the family unit. Like that's where a lot of the hurt and a lot of the pain comes from, a lot of the comparisons, a lot of the a lot of that, that judgment, you feel it from your own family. So I feel like it naturally transitions and translates to, because my family must think this about me, I know other people around me must think this. And it's like, no, somebody could look at you and go, oh my gosh, she's absolutely gorgeous. And not even like put so much emphasis on, oh, she's gorgeous for a dark skinned girl. But because we've been trained, we've been conditioned socially to think that within our own family, oh, well, no, there's always going to be a preference. There's always going to be, an emphasis put on skin tone. I feel like if we can not get away from not recognizing skin tone, because we don't want to not see color. That's a really big factor in who a person is, their identity, and just how they look in general. But if you can just get past if the skin tone is what makes somebody pretty or not, like, cause that's never going to be a factor. It's just, you have dark skin and you're hot. You have light skin and you're hot. It's never going to be you would be if you weren't, or if you were. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and like my kids are all well, I have one that's darker skin, and his dad is dark skinned, so he is the darkest out of our family. But like I said, I was raised thinking, okay, because of my skin tone, I wasn't black enough for black people, or I was too black for white people, and expected to be a certain way, to act a certain way. And it's like that fine line that we fall in between. And then with me having a darker skinned son, it's like, oh yeah, we can tell he got a different daddy. Or, it's like, but he's still my son. He looks like me. His skin's just darker than mine. He is still my child.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. It's like really just like, like y'all were saying, generational, and like with slavery and all of that stuff, just recognizing like where it comes from, and just like being aware of it, and really just loving all of our family members. We're all black. It doesn't matter about what the hue of the brown or whatever is. We are all family. We need to love one another.
Yeah. Which is why it's so difficult to even have this conversation, because I feel like we're trying so hard as a community just to fight to still be seen as like equal and still be treated fairly and respectfully. So then when we talk about, colorism within our community, it's so hard because a lot of black people feel like it's being divisive, and it's not the conversation we need to be having right now. And, it needs to take the back burner until, we can go fight for, rights in America, just to, be treated respectfully by the police. And I understand that, but I also feel like, again, change really has to start, from our, within the family, within ourselves. And we can't come together strongly as a community if we're still having, these issues. And I feel like things aren't, clear cut, and they're not, okay, we're working on this issue right now and this issue solely. Like, no, the world has never worked like that. And people have never worked like that. Intersectionality, you're not just one thing. So I feel like while we're working on you know, having communications and bridging the gap between, you know, what systemic racism is and racial bias and police brutality and things like that. We can also can have that conversation with others outside of our race, and then come back to our own race and still have, you know, respectful conversations about, okay, guys, but you have to realize that those preferences we have, it's actually stems from, you know, damaging Eurocentric standards being placed on us for, you know, centuries.
Right.
Yeah, and just to stem off that one, you know, it's just like the same thing as just having someone in the cosplay community or in the entertainment industry that's not just in front of the camera. We need people,
oh my God, yes,
that's behind the camera that can understand that, yeah, we got this black role, or this role for a black person, I should say. But I'm just going to get the lightest black person just so I can say that I have a black person in this role. That's colorism. People don't want to put that title on it, but that's what it is, because you didn't look at the person qualities. You looked at the person for their skin color. You didn't look to say that, oh yeah, this girl did much better, but we're looking for this so it can appeal to this and that, and more black men like this than that, you know. Like, unfortunately, the statistics are out there, but that is true, and unfortunately true, I should say, that, you know, we need those people, not just, like I said, in front of the camera, but behind the cameras and on the boards, that understand colorism, that says, I'm not looking for a light bright. I'm looking for a person of color to fit this role. Let's get all the candidates in. You are best, and it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's so true, because as much as I love Zendaya, I think she's, you know, doing fantastic things with her career. I think she's a great actress. She's a great dancer, super gorgeous, all of that. She should not be the face of black girls, like, everywhere. Like, I'm just like, okay, I get it. She's popular, she's trendy. You want to put her on your magazines, you want to put her in your TV shows, you want to announce awards and things like that. Yeah, I get it. But it's like, when, you know, just what you said, when you have the face of, like, oh, like, young black women in America, and it's still someone who, like, white people go, oh my God, but she's so pretty, because they can relate closer to her. Yeah, she has Afrocentric, you know, she has a bigger nose, but she's still extremely stick skinny. She does have looser curls. She has super light complexion, and she doesn't have, like, super large Afrocentric lips. Like, everything else about her is very much Eurocentric, and it still very much appeals to them. And like, and that's, I guess, what they're trying to. I guess that's why Hollywood likes to make that bargain, where it's like, well, at least, you know, she's black and she likes to stand up for black things, so put her up there. And I'm just like,
okay, we get
all right, right. All right.
But I like the comment about the John Singleton and the early Spike Lee. I agree with that comment 100%. They put black faces on screen. It wasn't a particular kind of black face. They put black faces, and they told a story, and they are the pioneers. Unfortunately, there's not that many of them in this industry, so you don't get to see the beautiful shades of brown that we should see, because guess what? There are little girls that are dark skinned that want to see another beautiful dark skinned queen on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I want to diss our mulatto light skinned folks, but it's just, to me, I feel like there should be a nice balance. I guess that's what.
Yes. Yes. There's nice no balance. Problem with Zendaya, but we need more. We just need more Lupitas as well to balance, and put them in leading non-traumatizing roles. Put them as the cute romantic leads, and put them in soft, fluffy, like, just, no, comedic roles. Have you guys actually seen a movie called I think it's Little Monsters with Lupita?
I think so.
Oh my God, I gotta recommend it. It's actually hilariously enough, because I hate zombie movies. I'm absolutely terrified of zombies. But it was a zombie movie with, like, Lupita, and she was, like, the star of it. And granted, it was an entirely white cast, but she was like the main female lead, and she was also, like, the main romantic lead. She had people, like, constantly hitting on her in that movie, and I was like, oh my God, this is what I needed. This is what I needed. I needed this beautiful dark-skinned woman who's not just, because she's pretty and she's independent and by herself. She doesn't know. Like, she constantly had people, like, flocking to her and like, Shawty, let me get your number. And she was like, no. I was like, yeah. And on top of that, she was also badass. She fought zombies, but like, it was just so nice. I really recommend it. I'm pretty sure it's still on Hulu. It came out like Halloween a couple years ago, but like, it's fantastic. Like,
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Issa Rae is another pioneer. Love her.
Oh, so much.
Things that she stands for. She's very outspoken, but she's outspoken enough and quirky enough to own it, and not to be like, just because I'm a Black woman and I'm saying my piece, you want to label me as an angry Black woman. And that bothers me too. Like, no, we are just speaking the truth. You just don't want to hear it. And as well as, I need our Black men to step up and recognize colorism as well, because you do have a preference, but I want your preference to be, is she a good mother? Will she make a great wife? Will she, do we have the similar interests? Not, oh, because she's light skinned or her skin tone is this or her skin tone is that. That narrative, I need Black men to own it and to strive to do better when they're vocalizing their interests. Because I don't care if that's what you like, that's what you like, but don't make it seem like I'm just going to, I know society has programmed us to see that, because that's all we see is the beautiful either mixed or light-skinned females, and that is what they feel like, that's what Black men are going to like, and that's what they horn to. So when you get to these pages or these magazines, even on social media, you kind of don't see dark-skinned women on there. I mean, it just being honest, I mean, not the ones that I follow or that follow me, I don't see them on there. So the platforms always highlight those of lighter skin as, this is what you should look like, or this is what's beauty. This is what beauty is. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, guys.
I know you're on a time.
Yeah, but I was just going to start driving, but if anything happens, it's probably because I'm driving. I just want to give you a quick heads up. I'm totally listening. You're making great points.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Do what you gotta do. Yeah. But yes, just like what you were saying, Tasha, like with like the skin complexions, like unfortunately, like with that, it's like they're equating like certain skin complexions to have, like, I guess, more favorable like characteristics as far as like with their personalities, what kind of traits, skills, all that sort of thing too. And like you were saying, you gotta look deeper than that. And if it's just the skin complexion that you're talking about, then yeah, that's color. Yes, but
yeah,
for sure.
And then you have Black women. I guess something already went wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah, and it's just like, even with roles that Black women play, they're always the aggressor, the angry Black woman, the sassy. Like, we're not highlighted as soft and gentle or loving. And to me, even as a non-complexion or colorism issue, just Black women in general, and to piggyback off somebody else said that Black men are colorized too. That's true.
Yes.
But it's like, we're not highlighted as gentle, like the roles we get, or the roles that they feel like fit us. And then, or you'll be the token Black girl in a movie that it's always something. And that's why I feel like we need more movies and more shows like Wakanda and like that right there, to just say that you are not your hair and these women were still strong and beautiful. I don't think enough younger kids see that, because they say, oh, she's bald. Like, do you see her strength? Do you see that she's beautiful, whether she is not her hair? And I mean, to me, I feel like that, like we said, that generational thing. What is right? What looks right? What is the media putting out there to say what is beautiful? What is on the cover of the magazines? What are on these commercials and so forth?
Right, for sure. See if Karina is here. I know she's gonna pop in. Yeah, we're gonna check and see if we can switch Karina in real quick.
Yes, to Real Woman. Yes, I remember.
What did she say? A lighter skin with long hair. Yep, it's still like that today. Yeah, it is. It is, unfortunately. And I guess while we're trying to do some logistics things, I guess we can maybe go to the next question. And we kind of touched on this too, Tasha, but in your opinion, how does social media perpetuate color?
I think, yeah, we did touch on this. Like, I feel like with social media, whichever picture gets them, like, how can I say this? Let's say you have two women that does the same like idea or cosplay or thought makeup process. And if we were to look at the data of who's liking and the algorithm and stuff like that, you will see that a lighter skin complexion person will get pushed more so, and or her non-POC counterpart that did the same thing will get pushed more as the front runner in the algorithm based on likes. So to me, that goes back to like a societal thing. Like, am I clicking the like button because I like the product that they give it? And or if I see that same product, am I going to give that same product the same love? So whether who get pushed in the algorithm is a matter of, no matter who's at the front, am I going to like that person that's probably getting the less shine? And unfortunately, that's how the algorithm and the people that wants the steady flow to come to their page, they know what to post and they know who to post. Look like my little thing falling off. And they know who, and they know, unfortunately, they know who to post and what can get them the most buzzes, the like shares for their own interests and algorithm. Same with entertainment in this, within society. Like, who can a Black woman be in a lead role and get pushed and make us millions like someone of a lighter skin tone or are non-POC?
Right. Very true.
But it kind of touch up too with social media. I know it kind of extends, but like just in the media, like we was watching something on YouTube, and it's a dating app for Black singles, and they have like the filters to lighten their skin and all that. And I'm just like, that's crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got Karina coming in.
Yeah.
All right, come on.
I don't know, IG's acting petty.
Yeah, IG's being petty. They don't like us talking about colorism. Thank God for Shonda Rhimes.
Yes.
Different perspectives of Black women and people of color. Different perspectives.
Yeah, just like Truth was saying, like, unfortunately in society, like a white woman or someone of a lighter complexion can get away with, barely having makeup on, her hair could be messy bun. It's trend setting. But let us wear our natural hair out or even cut it low. Oh, she's butch, she's manly. Oh, she look like she'll whoop my, like it's never a or she's unkept, or her 4C that's nappy. Those things are always tagged along when we highlight women of color.
Right.
And just to piggyback off of what you just said, especially like with like 4C hair,
texturism.
Yeah, the texturism. It extends past to that too. Like we were looking on YouTube. There's so many videos about like the type 4 hair. But then when you go on there, and I think someone had mentioned it, I can't remember what her name was. If it was Amy Loho or the Mademoiselle, but they were saying that sometimes like people will put type 4 to get the views, but their hair texture is not within that. They wouldn't be considered a type 4. And it's misleading to like a person that's maybe starting their natural hair journey and trying to educate themselves to take care of their hair. They're expecting their hair to look a certain way based off of what they see on YouTube.
And just with Instagram too, it's a page that is for natural hair. But again, you don't see any girls that have 4C hair on the page. It's, the girls with the looser curls. And I'm just like, that's messed up, because I'm like, you're going to have natural hair and have all representation of natural hair.
Yes.
But that's an issue.
And then another thing, like what we noticed is that when someone did have like a mention about 4C hair, it was kind of like, making fun of the hair texture, like as far as talking about like manageability, combing, and all that sort of thing. And I'm just like, how are you gonna post a video trying to tell someone how to take care of their hair, but you're making fun?
Right.
Like, that just shouldn't be.
Yeah. It especially if you want somebody to embrace their hair. Like, why are you making fun of it at the same time?
Hey!
I had posted a video where this Asian lady, I don't know how true it is, but I felt it. She was in the store, and she complimented this beautiful child that was black, and she was saying, "Oh, how pretty you are," and stuff like that. And the child automatically thought she was talking about her hair. Oh. And so it was in this Asian lady said, "It is sad that not enough Black girls are told they're beautiful because they are beautiful. They are not their hair. Your hair is nice. Your outfit is nice, but you are beautiful." And so that I felt that raising a young Black girl in a majority white school, and I tell her all the time, you are beautiful. Your brown, your Black skin is beautiful. Don't let no one else tell you otherwise. And to me, like, for someone that's not Black to make that connection that, wow, this young girl just only thought that I was talking about her hair. No, you beautiful, baby. That really touched me. So it's like, especially having like a little one. So yeah. And hello, welcome.
Yeah. Hey, ladies, what's going on? I was listening to y'all while I was getting ready, so, and then the technology wanted to fail on me, so here I am.
Everyone is talking about colorism.
Yeah, they don't want us talking about it, but y'all gonna hear this today. So, anyway, yeah, sadly, I've experienced all of the stuff y'all ladies have talked about. For me, it's been mostly, unfortunately, about my hair. Like, I have this one story where I was actually starting a new job, and I think I had big chopped maybe like for the third or fourth time. I've done it so many times I can't really keep count, and had finally gotten my hair wearing like I had a really big afro that I wore to work, and one of the older ladies who I work with was like, "Oh, is that all yours?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually it is." And she was like, "Let me feel for tracks." Well, you know me. You don't be bold enough to say, "Let me feel for tracks." I'm gonna be bold enough to bend my head down. Do you know this lady really went in ahead and she, with both hands, was just like, "Oh my God, there's no tracks in." I was like, "Do you hear that?" So I don't understand. Is it because I'm Black that I'm not supposed to have big hair, or I can't have big hair, or is it what were you trying to insinuate? And she was like, I didn't mean to. I was like, yeah, you did. You absolutely meant to, because that's exactly how it came out. And I'm just like, oh, honey, you got some issues. So a lot of the colorism that I've experienced, unfortunately, has been due to my hair. And I'm like, why are we so like this? Like, I don't understand. Why are we like this? It's heartbreaking.
It is.
It's heartbreaking. Like, wow, how do we break the
It was beautiful and big. Why couldn't you just say it was beautiful? She had to go
exactly. Just left it like that. Like, "Oh, I love your hair today," or whatever.
I don't know if it was just because I was the new girl, or I don't know, guys. I just it just that story still just like,
that's right. That's a violation. Somebody said that's a violation.
Honestly, you're right, it was. And if I was that petty, I would have marched my ass right to HR and been like, "Can y'all do something about this?" Right.
Now, what? And this was a person of color, right? That did this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so all right,
Yes.
yeah.
And the worst part is she keeps her hair cut very short. It's natural and it's usually like bleach blonde. It's super adorable. So that's why I'm like, I know if anybody were to understand my natural hair journey, it should be you, because you've obviously, like, she's an older lady, so I just assume that her hair has been cut that way for a while, because she always made it seem like her hair has just been like this for ages and ages. And I'm like, you know, you should understand this natural journey. Like, come on, lady. Even if it had been tracks, like, let's just say it had been. What was your point? What? I mean, I bought it. It's mine. Like,
Exactly.
Right.
We're not going to debate this.
And that, to me, that just stemmed on either she felt she was comfortable because she was Black, a sister too, and she just didn't understand her boundaries, because, you know, as Black folks, we probably get a little too comfortable around each other when it comes to certain things. But it's like, you don't know me like that. We might be from two different sides of the same coin, but, you know, like, you don't touch my hair. Like, that's a violation. I confuse people at work with my hair because I do wear a lot of wigs. I very seldom wear natural, so I'll get questioned, but they know not to touch my hair. So good. So you're good. Like, I ask, you can ask me anything. I'll tell you real quick. Yeah, it's a wig. Yeah, it's tracks today. And then I think they can't, because I switch it up on them. They don't know when my natural hair is out.
right.
And so it's like, oh, they'll just assume, oh, that's just weavers. I'm like, no, that's me. I just decided to be different.
Right. But when did we get so comfortable to where these are the questions that you asked me regarding my preference for my hair? So what? One day I might have come to work with blonde hair and the next day it's purple. Either way, they're both mine. So, you know, what does it matter to you if it's a wig, if it's tracks, if it's mine? So what? I mean, when did we get this comfortable, y'all?
But that goes back to what we were saying about generations and like the mindsets of generations and being taught what is beautiful, what is too Black or too white or stuff like that. Like, you can't, to me, it's still colorism, but it's having to do with your hair texture, how you style your hair. That is still all the form of that. They don't want to say is a form of colorism at the end of the day. If you don't want to put a label on it, that's all good and well. I got that label for you if you don't want to do it, because I mean, not all of us have bone straight hair. Not all of us have natural long hair, and not all of us, like we were talking about, textures and stuff. Some of us are naturally poor and, you know, do the best you can. And I just feel like you not only have to love your hair, you need to love your skin.
Yes.
Right.
You do. You absolutely do.
Are y'all having a hard time seeing the text in the chat? Because it's like very hard to read for us.
It is hard to read. I can't. It looks real tiny, or it's just like it's super white, or am I going blind?
Yes.
I don't know.
I see it fine on my end. Let's see.
Wow.
Real Woman says, my sons go through the same thing. They are biracial. People always have their hands in their hair. And I can relate that because I am a grandmother of 2 biracial kids. So my grandbabies, when I'm with them, you know, I do the hair. Like, I'm gonna braid their hair. I'm gonna put the curly stuff in their hair and do it. I take my grandson says biracial to get his hair cut. Like he ain't finna go out there half stepping. No, he's going to a brother to get his hair cut. And then, so when he go see his other grandma, you know, he got the little line going through his hair. I make sure he got little curls coming down. I got to keep him sharp because, you know, he has 2 sides. And I think I know this kind of going off track, but just to touch, because Real Woman has biracial kids. Like, I feel like that's a topic of its own, because they don't know where to fit in, but they need both families to love them unconditionally, to where it shouldn't be a problem to understand where they fit in. Because I can relate when I go to my grandma's house, when we eat cornbread and collard greens and stuff, that's my black grandma. Or I'm at I'm Gammy. I'm at my Gammy house. But then I might eat different and do different things at ZZ house, but I still love both of my grandmothers the same. One's going to teach me this, one's going to teach me that, and I'm going to embrace it, and I'm going to go out in this world, and I pray when they get older that they acknowledge and embrace both sides of their race.
Right.
And it comes again from the family.
From the family, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
She said grandbabies, yes. I am a grandmother of 2. I'm a Gammy of 2.
Oh, Cammy, that's so cute.
I know. Love it.
Was there anything else you wanted to add with the topic? Or?
Yeah. Did you ladies have any other like final thoughts on the other question? Or want to move on to the next one?
We can go on to the next one if you're good.
Okay. All right. So, what are your thoughts on how dark-skinned and light-skinned women are portrayed in media, specifically comics, influencers, and entertainers?
My notes I have is Sister Crone from
Oh God.
from Promise Neverland.
Yeah, Promise Neverland. Lord.
So, hey, it's the elephant in the room. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Like, that's a reference, muscular, masculine, aggressive, the naive mammy type, good old girl, supposed to do what you're supposed to say, like over eccentric features and stuff like that. Yes, we do have wide noses and full lips and stuff like that, but I have seen some, like, even in my timeline and people that I followed, that make these Black characters not over the top, and they do a hell of a job bringing it to life from a piece of paper. So I don't understand, why is it so hard to find people out here that can bring a politically correct look or something that's not going to offend to the table? I know there's artists out there. I know there's writers out there. I know, stuff like that shouldn't happen, but unfortunately that happens. And I think that's all I have. Oh, and for example, like when you have the Halle Berry versus the Gabrielle Unions of the entertainment, you have the lighter sister's going to get the more play than the darker sister, or the darker sister's going to get a typical role that she's may or may not be a love interest, and she's not going to bring in the blockbuster money that'll keep those people pockets lining. And guess what? Those people that do that to us don't have our best interests at heart. They don't. I think that's all I have.
Good. Did you have any thoughts on that, Karina?
I mean, I agree 100% with what Tasha said. Like, it's unfortunate that at this day and age that it's still obvious that stigma it's still there. And I think the more that we get together and we start making our own production companies, start stepping out on faith and making our own stuff, telling our own stories, and doing right by us, like, it's the only way that stuff is actually going to change and people are going to actually start taking us serious. You know what I mean? Like, it just has to be something that we do. Otherwise, we're still going to see that stigma that we're still going to see it out there. At least in anime, it's getting better. Right. But again, we're stepping out and we're doing something about that to make it better. Exactly. So we'll have to do the same thing in Hollywood too, so that the younger generation, they can see that, no, you don't have to just be a gangbanger, or no, you don't have to just be a baby mama. You can actually be the rom-com leading lady, or if you want, you can be the villain and actually be a really good villain. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna have to start. It all goes back to us, sadly.
Yeah.
Right.
That inner community battle.
Yep.
And until we set the groundwork, those other people, they're going to see that within our community, and then they're going to profit off of it. You know, until we get that under control within ourselves, then we can say, hey, listen, I got a whole community behind me. We know what's up. All this got to change. We shutting it down. If it ain't gonna change, you are not gonna see us. And too often, not too many people. They always have to find one of us that go with them.
Infinite Bree said Hollywood is still Holly weird. That's for another discussion. That's another discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, we agree with you ladies too. Like with like what you were saying earlier, Tasha, like with like the movie Black Panther, and just the amount of support that the movie got from you know, from Black people going out to see, and just the positive representations of Black and the different hues of brown on there.
Yes.
So we have to, you know, let them know, like, this is what we want, and not these stereotypical roles that they have us playing. Like, if we're gonna have like the woman, you know, being like aggressive, or she's gotta be a thought, you know, it's just like, can we have some variety in what we're showing on here? But you know, we keep supporting it, they're gonna keep making those roles for us.
Exactly.
So you go ahead.
For the next, are y'all ladies ready for the next question?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so this question is, why do you think there's a reluctance to discuss colorism in the Black community?
I think it's a stigma. Unfortunately, I mean, kind of like what I touched based on, like it, with my experience, it starts with the family. Until I have that dialogue with my own family members that's saying I act white, or, you know, or what you know about this, it's hard for me to correct somebody when I go to a cookout and I'm still around that same stigma, and I'm not having that conversation with these people that I love. And, you know, I feel like that would be like something, an internal battle. Like, hey, why are you saying I talk this way? Let's have a conversation. Why can't I talk this way? What is wrong with what I like? I mean, like, that doesn't make me less Black. You know, I can't help it if, you know, you don't want this for yourself, or you don't have this for yourself. But don't kind of point your finger at me and be like, oh, well, you're just acting that way because you're from up there, or you're because you're lighter skinned and you're going to have more opportunities and all that kind of stuff. Like, no, I still have the same struggles, but like I said, it really stems from me actually having a conversation within my own family, and hopefully they will understand. And it just goes back to just that slave mentality that we touched base on earlier. You just have the house Negro versus the field Negro. Like, nobody wants to have that conversation of that they wanted something fair skin in their house. They didn't want the darker skin. Why was darker skin this way? Why are we still on this topic in our community when our ancestors had to deal with this? We shouldn't be over it within our community, but we should be striving to be better at it in our community, and not calling each other's darkies and, oh, she's pretty for a dark skinned girl. Oh, you from over there from the suburbs. Yeah, I'm from the suburbs, but I'm still Black from the suburbs. Guess what? I'm probably like the token Black girl in my group because that's all I work with is white females. Or I might have listened to some New Kids on the Block growing up, and but guess what? Then I overcompensated when I got in high school, feeling like I needed to date the thug, or I needed to listen to the trap music more, versus not owning who I was. But that stigma and that conversation was not happening and should be happening within my family.
Right.
The chip, yeah, or Oreo. I don't know if anybody ever heard that term.
All the time. And
it's sad, like, those terms didn't come from white people.
No,
They
I've
didn't.
heard
Let's
those
just speak
people
on that
the
for a second.
school.
You calling me, or like you calling people wiggers or Oreos and stuff like that. That didn't come from my Caucasian neighbor down the street that we rode the bus and I grew up with for, elementary to high school. She never called me an Oreo. But when we go to barbecues and I'm hanging out with family and visiting them out of town and I start talking, or you see me wearing something, it's like, oh, I get coined a phrase like that. So, all right, I'm done. I'm gonna take up too much time.
That was good.
You're gonna get me started.
No, I mean, nobody wants to have to admit that there's generational curses and issues that we as a people have to deal with. You've got some of us that don't even want to acknowledge mental health as an actual health issue. So, I mean, if we can't acknowledge that, there's a lot of people that still don't want to have that conversation that, we shouldn't be putting each other down by saying, oh, so-and-so is pretty for a black girl, or, oh, she's kind of dark, or she's kind of crispy, or wait a minute. Those are conversations that as a people, we're not ready for. But what we can do to try and progress them is having the conversation with our kids.
Right.
I'm trying to start with my 7 and 8 year old now, like, we're not doing this, and I'm starting first with hair, because sadly my youngest daughter has a different texture than my oldest daughter, and it's always, well, why doesn't my hair look like hers? Because you're different. Although you two have the same people, there's no way that we could duplicate, you're one in a million. There's no one else like you. You have to embrace those features of yourself and love them. I mean, it has to be that conversation that we have to start. Sadly, we can't go back and change the generations behind us, but we can have an impact on the ones in front of us. The ones behind us, unfortunately, it might be too late. There might be some of them that, they might be willing to sit down and have that conversation, but a good majority of them,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They're not equipped to have that conversation, and we can acknowledge that those weren't the conversations that they're equipped to have. So we just kind of got to look towards the generation ahead of us and try and see if we can stop it there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and I totally agree with the part with having the kids. Like, I touch base with my daughter, for example, and even them going to a predominantly white school and stuff like that. Like, I don't want them to think that they are exempt because of their skin color. No, if anything, my conversation I have with my kids is totally different than what a Karen would have with her kids. Like, I tell my boys all the time, you already got 2 strikes. I say, you're black and you're male. I tell my daughter all the time, you have 2 strikes. You're a female and you're black. So don't go up here acting a fool, showing your tail, talking all sideways, because that's not how you talk. You ain't hood. You don't know nothing about that life. You need to carry yourself with dignity and respect. And you need to acknowledge that, yes, I know that but I am worthy. So, you don't want them to play the race card, but you want them to acknowledge the difference. Like, oh, okay, I see how this is going. What can I do? Or who do I need to talk to? And then that stems back to resources and having people in position that understands and empathize with colorism and know that there is a fundamental problem in the Black community, and how can I solve it from being higher up so it can trickle down. But yet again, it stems from the family. Then let's break those barriers and then move on.
Right. Awesome.
Wow.
That was good, ladies.
Yeah, just like you said, more panel discussions about this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that we want to talk about, but it's something that we do have to just, I mean, I guess like with anything, like with a wound, you know what I mean? It has to go through that process of change. That's right. You got to mend it, and you have to expose it to air at some point. So until we start doing that, we can't progress like you guys were saying. So. But yeah, your final thoughts on that question, or do you want to move on to the next one?
I'm good. We
I'm
can
good.
move on.
Okay. So the next question is, do you ladies think that the algorithms for social media favor people of lighter skin tones?
Hmm.
Uh,
That's a good one.
I feel like the algorithm's only gonna push out what the audience want. And if you have, from my understanding, when you like, share, comment, that pushes
Insane.
the algorithm further. So the algorithm is a whole issue by itself, first of all, because there are some people that they say, oh, I've been shadow banned or something like that, to that extent, and that is stemmed from just the algorithm being the algorithm. So if we, as again, us as the Black community, the close-knit community, if we deem Black is beautiful to begin with, no matter what shade is being featured, or taking upon ourselves to be in that resource of showing you that Black is beautiful, we can switch the algorithm within and push that person, whether she's light skinned but she's still Black, or whether she's dark skinned but she's still Black. They're beautiful. They're beautiful women that displayed their content well. Or if you actually read people captions, you'll see that, oh, she worked on this for hours or something like that. Or their caption has a story behind it that you can relate to, and that you push the like, and sometimes just saving somebody's stuff, whether you saving it for your own personal interest, as far as like, I would like to try that, or maybe it was a tutorial or whatever, or you're just saving it to help push that person of color algorithm to see why I like it. And then that, to like veer off just a little bit, that's just like when you have all these trolls that come and make the comments. Those trolls help my algorithm pushing it. So it's the same thing. Like, fool, if you stop talking to me and sending people my way, no one will see my work and your mission will be accomplished. But since you a big fool and you keep coming for me, and then the community see you coming for me, and we about to make you famous, that's gonna push my stuff a little bit further than, if I was just sitting here trying to be cute and take a picture. Like, you just gotta help the algorithm. And so I guess with that, I would like to encourage even the blurred community is tap that like button. I mean, you don't have to feature every single body on your page, but you can feature them in your story. You can, like I said, you can save it, even if it's not something that you're going to say, oh, I need to reference it for something else. Just save to save. Like, this is going to help push this young sister or brother a long way, whether they're lighter complexion of the of the spectrum or a darker. But I feel like at the end of the day, the algorithm, long as you keep pushing that for the lighter skinned person, and then you have these magazines, these feature magazines and stuff like that, and they keep pushing it, and they get thousands in there, it's going to send thousands to that lighter skinned person, thousands to that their page or whatever. But until we switch up the algorithm, which is probably harder than what it sounds like, but it's the start.
Right. Got it.
Yeah.
And Karina, did you have something you want to share too?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's so much more the algorithm than it is the actual users. Again, I think that issue of that lighter skinned person being shown more versus the darker skinned person, maybe who's doing the exact same cosplay, stems from the audience who's liking, sharing, or commenting. Sadly, I guess it goes back to that that standard of beauty that has been unfortunately engraved into our head. not that we are holding on to it, but sometimes it's just a subconscious type deal, something that we have to work every day to kind of break. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know if I would say it's so much the algorithm than it would be the actual users boosting the algorithm to push someone who might be lighter skinned versus the darker skinned person.
Yeah. I think just like, I can agree with like both, like, both of what you were saying. Like just being like more like aware and just like using like our platforms to showcase like all hues of brown. So that everybody gets like the credit that they're due, all, spotlight equally on everybody. So everybody's represented. And even like the younger generation, so that little girls and little boys, they can see somebody that looks like them up there, someone to look up to, that representation. Yeah, for sure. Oh, and there was something else too that you guys had said, like with the going back to like with like the ingrained of like the certain beauty standard. It made me think of like the doll experiment.
Oh, I have the actual story with that. Back in high school, I had a home ec or whatever. So I think I was in 11th or 12th grade, but we had like the fake babies, and they had 2 African American babies, one lighter skinned black, one darker skinned black. Then you had the Latino baby and Caucasian baby and Asian baby. So when our teacher gives us a doll, she said, "What doll do you guys want?" I kid you not, everybody in the class was like, "Oh, give me the Latino baby, give me the lighter skinned black baby." Everyone was fighting for it. And she was like, the darker skinned black baby, nobody wanted. I was the only one that got it, and my friend and another girl got it. My teacher, she said, "You girls are some of the most colorist group of women I ever met in my life," because everyone was like, "I don't want the dark skinned doll. I want this doll." I was just like, this is so sad. So when I had my fake baby, unfortunately, most of our people was like coming to me talking about why you got that dark skinned doll? That doll is ugly and everything. I'm just like, this is so sad. Like, it's not even funny. I'm just like, seriously?
And the baby looked like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Like, don't do that.
Self-hate.
Yes.
Self-hate.
Yes.
Oh no. Yeah. Got to do better. Lord.
Dang.
But yes. Made me think about that doll experiment, Clark and Clark 1939, with the preference for like the white baby over like the black one, and just that kind of still even now, like we're in 2021, that experiment in 1939 still following us, still ingrained into our brains, that self-hatred. Yeah.
Self-hatred and slave mentality. Like, oh, okay.
Right.
Get the lighter doll.
Right. Indeed.
So sad. Oh.
And I guess, were there any final thoughts on that last question, or did y'all want to move on to the next one?
We can move on if
No, we can move on.
Okay.
All right. So the next question is, do you all feel that there are some positive changes in the media that are occurring of representation?
In comparison over the last, let's see, like in my generation, because I don't know y'all ages, but like maybe the past 10 years, I can see some changes. But growing up as a 90s kid, there wasn't that much to see of just even blockbuster movies and films and stuff like that. Like it wasn't much of us. There wasn't much of us, despite your hue, on the news channels and stuff like that, even with natural hair or anything that wasn't viewed as a 90s kid. But in the past 10 years, I have seen it get better, but it is still probably a hurdle for that young sister or brother to get to where they were or are now, just to say, oh, there is some change. Oh, there is people of color that's doing this and that and the fourth. You also have people that be like, I'm not my ancestors. Like, no, you're going to give me my due due diligence. Like, I've earned this respect. I should be in this position. I worked hard as hell for this. It should not matter the pigment of my skin, because Chad right there is not qualified. I'm sorry, but Chad is not. But Jamal is, or Jamel is, you know, like we are, and then we have people to back us up. You don't have that tight-knit community to say, hey, like, y'all need to back this person up. There's something's going wrong. Same thing with society, as far as like with the police killings and stuff. It's like predominantly dark-skinned men. Like, so like light-skinned men don't get in trouble. So it's like, are you more scared of a dark-skinned complexion man than a lighter skin complexion man? Is that lighter skin complexion man passing enough for you to be like, oh, okay, buddy, you got it, or something like that? And so that's twisting it to another level, but it's still what society and media wants to show you. They want to show you this, but they don't want to show you that. Like, there's we are a rainbow of everything. And I think that some people in production, I guess you have, like, for example, what's his name, Tyler Perry, you know, with him having his studio, I can't name anybody else. Why is that? You get what I'm saying? I mean, are there people out there like that? Are there other people that are writers that are behind the scenes, again, on the boards that y'all are not pushing, and that I don't know of? And it's sad that I could probably only name one, or there is one. I mean, maybe there's more. I don't know. But you sure not pushing that narrative and saying, come on, Black Hollywood, we need you. We got your people here. We need more of you and more of your stories and more people like you on this board. So when the media's talking reckless, we have that Black person at the table be like, okay, like, no, you can't go there. You cannot say this. This is not politically correct. You need to say this, that, and forth. Too many people are getting messed up now because they don't have more of us in leading positions to help you out, or to not help you out and tell you where you jacked up and went wrong.
I mean, as far as in media goes, like, I grew up in the 90s. I'm a 90s baby. And I mean, I can remember seeing a lot of Spike Lee films, and he's one that sticks out to me. And I know his movie School Days hit this subject head on the nail. Like, if anybody's seen School Days, like, his whole movie was speaking specifically to colorism specifically. And nowadays we do have our Tyler Perry's. It's unfortunate. I feel like with somebody like Tyler Perry, although he has an extremely large platform, he's starting to utilize the same exact people over and over and over and over and over again for the same amount of his movies and stuff. So instead of actually helping the entire community, he's only helping like this small portion of it. And you've got other talented writers, talented directors. He's busy being writer, director, producer, starring in, and I'm like, although I can applaud this man for having this large studio in Atlanta, like, that shit is amazing. However, it hurts my heart to see that he's taking on so many hats and not giving more of us the opportunity to be the director, to be the cinematographer, to be the person behind the scenes, and to get their name out, because he's got a seat at the table and he's hoarding his seats. That's crazy to me. Like, why would you build your own table and you are hoarding all of those seats? We do have our Spike Lee's, he's still doing his thing. Ryan Coogler's another one. He's doing a phenomenal thing. And I feel it's bad because he had an opportunity to have a seat at the board of the Academy, and he turned it down. And I'm like, this is your shot to be the guy at the table. Like, I understand when you get on a platform like that, you know, when you get power like that, you get a lot of responsibility that comes along with it. But it's kind of like, if you weren't trying to be a trailblazer and to be, you know, gung-ho for the people, you turned your shot down. That kind of, you know, that breaks my heart for us to finally be getting our shot, and we scared, or we don't want the responsibility that comes with it. Like, what's the point of having all of our ancestors to go through all this slavery and the civil rights for all this voting for us to finally be equal? And here we are, finally, at least a little bit getting equal, and you running scared. Like, stand up for us. Get the table, please. Because if you don't want it, trust me, there's plenty of people around. Pass it over, because there's plenty of folks who do want it. I promise you there are. People out here busting their ass and working hard trying to get them seats at the table. If you don't want it, like,
exactly,
we need people at the table, because the only way we're gonna get anywhere as a people is if we have people at the table or building their own tables. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they named some in the comments. They had like Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele is another one.
Issa Shonda Rhimes, Misha Green, and
Misha Green, Ava
Lena.
DuVernay.
And yes, there are some people there that I feel like we need that times 10. But like I said, we've gotten better, and we're on the road to getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, you can still count them on your one hand, or maybe two. In comparison to others, it's still like a lowball number out there in the media. So, I mean, kudos to them. I do support those names that I mentioned that they had in the chat. Definitely, they are the front runners, the new generations. I do agree with you about the Tyler Perry thing. When I heard that he did the writing, he wouldn't hire any writers. I was like, what? Like,
he didn't hire not a single writer. Like, that's heartbreaking.
Like, you sit there trying to be everybody? Okay. All right, dude. Like, there's so many talented people of color. Right. You know, not even to be on the colorism thing, just people of color that can do these things, and that we need to reach your hand out, pull them in. I don't know. I'm just one of those people, like, if I eat, we all eat.
Right.
If, you know, and it's not one of those scratch your backs or whatever. Like, I'm a do, as long as you show me respect and stuff like that, I'm a do for you. I'm going to acknowledge you. I'm going to show you that same respect or whatever. And I'm going to bring you up. But I don't want none of that.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours. We don't need to do that around here.
No. If I eat, we all eat.
Exactly.
Right. It was something
that's true.
It's the text on here is, and I don't know if if it was mentioned in the comments, but do y'all remember, or do y'all know the name of, like, the guy that did Them, the series?
Oh yeah, on Prime.
Yeah, he's really good too. I can't remember what his name is.
I didn't even watch that
one. That, and it got too creepy real quick, and I had to wait.
No, you have to finish it. It touches on a lot of stuff, even like what we were talking about with generational curses. It is so good. I encourage everybody to watch it with me, right? It's a lot of hidden gems. There's so many hidden meanings in it. If you have not watched it, we encourage it.
So it's like, they said it's like a Lovecraft country. So is that without the sci-fi?
Yeah.
Well, no, it has creepy stuff elements in it too.
Yeah. So I would say that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's one of them that I need to finish watching. But of course, I have to watch it at night, and I'm old and I like to go to bed early. Yeah, because I tried to watch it during the day, and when that thing choked that little girl out, my daughter was like, "Why are you watching that?" And I was like, "My bad. I didn't know it was gonna be that deep." My bad.
But yes, it is so good. It's so good.
Oh, Nate Parker was another one. He did Birth of a Nation all by himself. I forgot about that.
That was good too. Yeah. Or like Us, an American Horror Story. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
All right.
So I guess we move to the final question. So, ladies, how can social media be used to confront colorism in traditional media?
Ooh. Well.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go on ahead.
Oh, I think we need to get out of the stigma or social media, need to get out of stigma. What is a marketable look? They just need to just showcase us, period. Instead of going with, okay, well, lighter, brighter, or this is more appealing, or then I don't like it when someone, and then it's like a double-edged sword. It's kind of like, I highlight this beautiful dark Nubian queen, but I am only highlighting this dark Nubian queen because she is darker and no one have seen this. And so I'm going to emphasize her skin color and only her skin color. So it's almost like a double-edged sword. Like, you're giving her props. She's beautiful regardless, but because of the darkness of her skin, that is pretty much why you want to tilt the hat towards her way just a little bit more. So like I said, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. Like you want to applaud it. Yes, I love her. Oh, look at her skin. It's so beautiful. It's so dark. It's so smooth. It's so, caramelized or whatever. Then you have that caption, or a hidden agenda is because she's dark. Ha-ha. I'm going to push my hidden agenda of getting the like, share, comments, and of course then push the algorithm. And there's one particular cosplayer that I can't think of her name, but yes, she is of darker skin color, beautiful, but I feel like people want to highlight the fact that she's of darker complexion versus she's a beautiful cosplayer, or her content is great, or her stories or her captions and what she brings to the table is great. It's one of those things, almost if damned if you do, damned if you don't. But
right.
But I like traditional medias. I think when we have shows like Blackish and Mix-ish that tackle the subjects and put it on mainstream media to let you know that we're not trying to say that the Black community is flawless by any chance, but that we don't have our own internal struggles. And that was one of the on an episode of Blackish, is that they touched on that. And they touch on many things in the Black community to say that, like, hey, like, we showing you this to show you we have our own struggles, we are different, we are diverse, but we shouldn't be treated differently because of this, that, and the fourth, which is the color of our skin, what do we bring or what we don't bring to the table. That their casting is, I think somebody had touch points on how the lighter skinned men, or there's always a lighter skinned woman as the wife or something like that, and there's always the mixed looking kids and stuff like that on the media and stuff like that. Like, our families are dynamically different, and I touch based on that with my son. He is darker of all his siblings. Like, we are a hue of colors, and I think that media tries to show that a little bit more, and we need to highlight and showcase those families' diversities and stuff.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And
yeah, social media can absolutely be used, but I think it's gonna have to, again, I think it's gonna have to be the type of content that we put out on our social media. I think the more that we embrace the different hues and shades that we all come in, I think we can utilize social media to showcase that these stupid marketing rules and stuff that all these larger companies utilize, that they can toss that shit out the window, and like, y'all don't need to use that. I know Target's really good about doing this, because even they've started using disabled people as models, and you see all different types of colors and different nationalities. Target is catching on. Hopefully other companies like Target catch on. If it's not going to be other companies like them catch on, then again, we're going to have to take the mantle up ourselves, start making these companies ourselves. and then start
Right.
showcasing our own people, because
Right.
otherwise we'll just be sitting here holding our breath waiting for them. I hope they start showcasing more melanated people instead of just showing maybe racially ambiguous people. Maybe they'll do it now. You know, like, you know, we'll have to take that mantle up ourselves and just try and start showcasing us and all of our beautiful melanated selves and every hue, and not just, oh, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna focus on the dark skinned people because they don't get enough they don't get enough love. Well, no, it's not that they don't get enough love. You know, we can showcase everybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be a dark versus a light thing. We're all black. And that's where the issue is the fact that you have to say, oh, well, I'm going to showcase dark people, or I'm going to showcase lighter skinned people, or I'm going to showcase racially ambiguous. No, like, if you're going to showcase black people, then just showcase black people, because we all look different. That's what makes us so beautiful. Like, you can have somebody, the darkest dark and the lightest light, and we're still all black. Like, that's phenomenal.
Right.
And and they also, to piggyback off Target comment, like, I would like to see more products for different shades. There, I think Wonder Mo Cosplay, she had mentioned in the caption, like, when she was a bunhead ballerina and she had to do performances, they only had one color of makeup for a person of color.
Yeah.
Like, we are one skin tone. And that comment resonated with me. And then she was like, her mama wasn't having it. And then, like you said yourself, like, it took a person to say, this isn't right. Here is more colors of us.
Thank God for Fenty, y'all.
And then it's just like the young lady with the elf ears blew my mind. And I've said it since I've been doing the cosplay thing and wanting to do more elfish ears or whatever. I'm like, literally can't find my color. I can't even find a dark, and what they consider dark wasn't really dark. It was my lightest skin friend wasn't dark enough for their dark. So, you know, just even products need to highlight the different hues and stuff like that. Yes, I have some of their stockings, the new bar, or New Bear. Yeah, I have some of their stockings. And, you know, I wish that there be more products. Same thing, a person that does makeup. Like, I feel like certain pigments on my skin complexion doesn't work well for a non-POC person versus a person of color, because that color's not going to pop. I always have to put a white base if I want that brightness. But I would like companies to acknowledge that. And there are companies, you have like Fenty and stuff like that has all these different shades, and that embrace the different shades of skin. Just to touch base on media and products and stuff like that. There's not enough different hues of us out there to choose from. And sometimes we got to create our own just to make it work.
That's right.
Oh, really? Yes, I got the fishnet and I got the regular stockings, and yeah, I'm excited about it. I haven't worn them yet, but I got them.
I can imagine makeup in the 80s. We was all looking real pale, pasty, washed out. I mean, people just were not doing well by our melanin as far as makeup goes and fashion, modeling. Like, oh my God, it was so bad. Things have gotten better, but you're right. We do have a long ways to go as far as makeup and media for our melanin. Like, we can't just put on every single color. I know we'd like to think that we can, but guys, there are certain colors that wash us out. There are certain colors that make us look ashy. You cannot just put on the same colors that regular non-POC people. It doesn't work.
Or you gotta mix a couple of colors to get your color.
Right. Yeah. Like, no, lucky that we've got people like Fenty, but those are definitely questions my sister and I always ask before when we curate palettes, lip shades. It's like, is this really gonna be for us? If it's not, we're scrapping it because there's no point. It has to look good on us for it to go out. Like, not enough, I feel like not enough businesses ask those type of questions when they're pushing products out like that. Like, is this gonna look good? How is this gonna look on our people of color, on their melanin? How's that gonna look?
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
that's important.
Most definitely. That's why we like y'all's
Yes.
product, seriously, because y'all take like that, all of that
Take
into
y'all's-
consideration.
yes.
Y'all consider like the the people that you're selling to.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we appreciate that.
Thank
Thank you.
That's right. Push Black-owned businesses. Support them.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks for all the questions.
Oh, we
But,
got questions? Oh.
Ooh,
I wasn't ready for
questions.
this one.
No. The questions we had, we went through them all.
Yeah, so we completed all the questions,
Mhm.
but I guess if you ladies have like any final thoughts on, anything that y'all wanted to like put out there, but that's it on the questions.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I just wanted to touch base on pushing everyone, POC, no matter their skin shade, no matter your preference, no matter if you like light skinned women, that's cool, but don't degrade others to uplift someone else.
Right.
You like what you like. And don't forget, like I said, if we want change, we have to be that change. We have to be that person that put these people in stories, that does the likes, the shares, the comments, the saves, the features, whether they're a small platform of 1,000 followers or they have 20K followers. We need a good balance of that, not just what's popular at the moment or this person is popping. Let's get these other people and help uplift them. Let's help push the algorithm. Let's show them that it's more of us, and it's more of us of all shades that needs to be loved and highlight. Touch base on loving yourself and working on that dynamic of family, like we touch based on and stuff like that. So yeah, self-love, and work on that family generational curse within our own community.
Yay! What she says. What she says.
I know, drop the mic.
True. What she said.
There you go. Drop my invisible mic.
Mic drop. She said it, y'all. We gotta love ourselves. I mean, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
That's exactly where it starts. It's all self-love. And yeah, just because you like something doesn't mean you have to put the other options down. Like, that's not a thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's just because you have a preference doesn't mean the other options are any less than what it is that you like. You can just not say anything. Like, didn't Barney say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything?
Yep. Just keep them
You know
moving.
what I mean? Like, come on.
We got enough toxic stuff in our community. Let's not make
Right.
this. Let's
If
not
it's not
make this
positive,
a issue. Let's get over this.
uplifting, loving, just keep it to yourself. Like, it's that simple. You can just scroll and keep it moving. Like, you ain't gotta say nothing. People got audacity these days. Like, this quarantine, just people sitting on a whole bunch of just audacity. Like, ooh, Lord, you have some balls just
them keyboard warriors
out like that. I don't understand.
But thank you, ladies, for having me. And it's a topic that needs to be talked about and reached. I think someone had came in and said something about a panel. And yeah, I really feel like that is one of those things, like I try to close with, like, we need to have this discussion. We need to have it out there. So if you want this panel to happen, you need to make sure you're at a convention that embrace diversity, right, to have that topic and to have that discussion to those people that don't know, that need to be educated and the people that do know and might have some more insight and other perspectives.
I stay quiet a lot.
I stay quiet a lot. I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with that, honey. If it's not positive or it's not uplifting, that's okay. Sometimes everything you got to say is not positive, uplifting. I'm one of those people. So guess what? I just don't say nothing because it's not for everybody, and that's okay. Everything that we think or say is not going to be for everybody, and that's all right too. That is A-okay.
Yes, I do know DragonCon does have a diversity track. Little diversity track, and I make a point to go to that diversity track. I've had the pleasure of sitting on some panels with some beautiful Black women that were scientists, that were goal getters, and they were talking. They broke down the whole Wakanda from a brainiac perspective, and I'm like, in mental health issues, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this, and these sisters look like me. And I like that too. And there were some other panels that I attend to. So yes, I do know DragonCon. I'm not familiar. I hope obviously BlurredCon will have some. I think that I would be shocked if they didn't. But and I'm not familiar with the other one. But yes, I do know DragonCon has a diversity track. So I encourage you, anybody, like I said, if you go to these conventions and they go to these panels and you support and give them their money, make sure they have your best interest with something that you can relate to. As a blurred keyword, Black nerd, the Black part, that you can say, hey, I'm gonna go sit in here and support this person. They're talking about some topics that relate to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yes, but thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody that came in onto this live. Like, this is definitely topic that we had to discuss. It doesn't stop here, so everything just kind of I guess absorb this and start with the family, start with the little ones, and we gotta love ourselves, love each other. And I guess we leave y'all with that.
Yeah.
And hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you guys.
Thank you again.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, ladies.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.